Regarding the author of the book, there is not much information that I expected. Oh, but the most important information about Ashley Vance is that he's a South African journalist. He born in 1977 and he graduated from Panama College in the 2000 and later he brought for the register from March 2003 to August of 2008. He moved to the New York Times in September of 2008 and then to Bloomerang Business Week in January of 2011. Bands cover the companies like IBM, HP, Intel, and Dell, and also writes a wide range of technology topics, including robots, scooters, and the air programming language. In 2007, Vance wrote a book called Geek Silicon Valley about the history of this place of Silicon Valley, and his writings also often appeared in such publications in important communications medias like The Economist, Chicago Tribune, CNN, The Globe, and others. In 2015, Vance began writing and hosting the Hello World video. This is a video series for Bloomerang and focused in the tech scene in various countries. And in the same year, he published his biography. He published the biography of Elon Musk, and this is the biography of the book that we will talk about. The first part of the book talks about the childhood and the adolescence of Elon Musk. In these chapters, it is mentioned that the South African businessman didn't have a good childhood because he suffered bullying and the school, and the relationship with his parents wasn't the best. And for that reason, Elon found a refuge in books. And when he was about 14, Musk plunged into an existential crisis, and he tried to deal with many talented teenagers drawing on religions and philosophical texts, and he assimilated diverse ideas, and he had started adopting the science fiction teachings of one of the books that have influenced him in the most way in his life. And this book was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Um, and Elon Musk says that in that book, they say that one of the hardest things is knowing how to ask the right questions. And he says also that when you know the questions, answering it is relatively easy. Sorry. And in this part of the book, another thing that it is good to comment in this part of the book, or in this part of his history, is that when he was a teenager, he moved to Canada, from South Africa to Canada, and he started with nothing, only with his backpacks, and he started in this form. And I don't know, in this part of the book, in my opinion, is when we can see um, Musk in his most human sense. If I can I call him that, because I think we all of us gone through that crisis in the adolescence when we don't know exactly who we are and what we are good for. So I think this is a key to success, not only in business, but in life in general. And this key is to overcome crises and above all learn from them. I think I think uh, Musk didn't have uh, a easy childhood and adolescence, and in general, I think none of us have a perfect childhood or a perfect adolescence. The crises in this part of the life of all of us are 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 in the most of the histories are present this type of crisis. So I think this is a good learning or a good conclusions to take from this part of the book to overcome crisis and to learn something, so to learn how to survive of these crises in this type of the life, or in general in all of the life. In the second part of the book, the author focuses on how Musk companies started, and something curious that is mentioned in that book is when Elon began to study for a doctorate in physics in Stanford. He abandoned it days after starting and focused on start or found a company. Um, and in this second part of the book, uh, the author says or named two important companies, especially two important companies that was very important in the life of the Elon Musk. Um, one of these companies was Zip2, which he created this company with his brother Kimball Musk, and Zip2 will create a business search directory and link it to online maps. And Musk used to explain the concept using pizzas. Everyone, he said that everyone had the right to know the location of their nearest pizzeria and the exact way to get there. Today, this idea of maps and directory search and something like that might seem obviously or very obvious. It is some mix of Google Maps and one directory. I don't know, yes, a directory online. But in these times, or in these, yes, in these times, no one had to of anything like this type of business. And this is the way how to start the found the companies Elon Musk and and Zip2 had a very success in these times. But the company to talk about and his stage for me is PayPal. PayPal, I think, was a point, or a remarkable point in the life of Elon Musk. And people started with the name of X.com. Uh, this is I think this is not a good name for a financial system. especially on the internet, because he could be take another perspective, this X.com. But well, under the direction of Musk, X.com introduced some radical ideas in the banking world, because customers receive a 12 bonus on simply for sign up for the service, and $10 bonus for each person that they brought to the bank. And Musk dispense with pesky fees and overdraft penalties of the banks. And in a very modern approach, X.com also create a payment system where money could be sent to a person only by entering their email address on the page. And the project consists of escaping from the parsimony of classic banks, whose computers took day to the process payments, to create IO accounts with which it was possible to manage money with a couple of only mouse clicks or an email address. And 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 I don't know, PayPal for me, I said it before, but I insist. The PayPal was a revolution, because people are people was a revolution of the internet, or the online banks. And for in this second part, I think is the started of the started way to see why Elon Musk is what he is today, because from the beginning he had different visions than the others. And the perfect example is PayPal. Like Luis, he knew that he could achieve everything that he imagined. uh, and I insist with PayPal. I think no one person in the world at this time thought about this idea. And if some person imagine this type of business, he or she thought that it was impossible. But uh, Elon Musk said, I want this, I can achieve this. And in addition, we can observe that the perseverance that Musk had when a project was in his head, because he didn't rest until he saw it become a reality, despite the fact that people didn't trust him or abandoned him. Because in the book, the author mentioned that some engineers didn't trust Elon Musk, and he abandoned the project. Uh, I think this example of this case was in the creations, or in the beginning of PayPal. And Elon Musk had some difference or some problems with one of the engineers. I think he was the leader of the engineers, and he abandoned the project. But Elon Musk mm, continue to working on this project, despite he that these engineers abandoned him. So I think this is the perfect example of perseverance, and the perfect example of a person that want want convert their dreams to reality. So I think all of us could learn something about in this type of situations, or we could learn about how to the perseverance. It's important not only in the business. It can be used in all of the sectors in our lives. The last part of the book, it talks about the current and, my opinion, the most famous companies of Elon Musk. And these companies are Tesla and SpaceX. In these chapters, Vance mentions that the first years of these two big companies were difficult because in the case of SpaceX, its first flights were a failure with the Dragon, the Dragon rocket. It was the first model that SpaceX launched, and in two occasions, in two times, I remember in two times, this rocket failed, and well, in the case of Tesla, during the launch of the Model S, um, this company had a delay in orders of up to 2 years. This delay was from 18 months to 2 years, and this is a lot of time for a delay, especially in a car or in a model car, and especially if you are a new company or a company that just started to compete in this sector. But in but we all know about the ability of Elon Musk to the perseverance that we mentioned it before, and years later SpaceX managed to make a flight with a 3D printed rocket engine. The Dragon 2 was the rocket, and the engine of this rocket was printed in a 3D machine. It was the first engine that, or the first I don't know if it is correct rocket, and the first transport that use a 3D printed engine. And Tesla with the second version or the improved version of the Model S revolutionized the automotive industry with the autopilot system and the many of the various sensors that give you data of practically everything that you surrounds in your around your cars, or everything that are or that happen around your cars. And this is one example of perseverance and to continue fight, to continue working, to continue dream. And if in the first time the things didn't happen uh, in the same way that you imagine it, we continue working, continue improve these things, continue to think how I can improve these versions, how I can to continue dreaming. And I think this is the most important message of this book. And Elon Musk is a perfect example, and it's a perfect example for the next generations, that despite if you don't have the perfect childhood, despite if you suffer bullying, despite of all of the problems that the life can be give you during the years, continue. And the perseverance in your life, it is the most important thing to become your dreams into reality. So I think this is the most important message. And with this message, or with these conclusions, I I finished this video. Thank you.